Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Jed McKay, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
So, you say you want an evolution, kids? That's right. Summer is here on Marvel Tales. That's right. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, from Biscuit HQ, it is
Justin the Owl stepping out of the evolutionary vat.
That's right. We got a fun summer plan for you kids, and it all starts right here this week, this episode, with the first part of our evolution. For this month, it'll be all Evolutionary War, kids.
Yeah, all month long.
Every annual.
We're doing the whole thing and the what if issue at the end.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, which was Phil's idea, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that for a moment. Oh, I'm even happier now.
There'll be a little epilogue at the end. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, kids, this month's gonna be kind of a little grab bagger. You get pretty much everybody who was in the Marvel universe in
1988. Yeah, definitely. Yep, you got the mutants mixed up. You got the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Avengers, the Punisher.
So yeah, we're getting the Punisher, Silver Surfer,
the New Mutants. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it was just certain creative teams didn't want to do it because I wanted to do this before we jumped on, but I'll do it now. But I swear there was like certain annuals that we didn't get that year. Or
Thor, right? I was wondering about that.
We got amazing. I mean, we got all the Spider-Mans. Yeah, I mean, there's no Thor, there's no Iron Man, there's no Captain America.
There's no Hulk.
No. That's what I'm saying. There's some big hitters. There's some names here that aren't,
Although we did see the Hulk and we did see Cap.
Yeah,
in the Avengers one. So they did kind of shoehorn them in at the end, but yeah, it's weird. I wonder if it was because there was that mix-up with where Steve was the captain, and they were just like, "Yeah, let's not do an annual this year because
we didn't want John Walker to meet the High Evolutionary."
Could you imagine? Oh my God, that would have been quite a conversation.
I'm gonna bounce this shield off your face.
This doesn't sound like the Captain America from my files.
I'm not saying no Iron Man, no Thor. I mean, the big three, they're not there.
Yeah, I was curious about that, and
no solo Avengers titles, just Avengers and West Coast Avengers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Spider-Man gets 3 annuals.
3 annuals.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we have 3 different X teams.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, New Mutants. And then, like I said, we got Punisher and Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why I guess maybe that's why I thought this crossover was bigger, but
Yeah, it was almost like it was an experiment.
Yeah,
like they were trying out. Let's see how well this works. And if it takes off, we'll put the heavy hitters in there. We'll put Spider-Man in there. We'll put the Avengers in there. We'll put the Fantastic Four in there and the X books. And if it really takes off, then that will set the blueprint for,
I guess,
what we'll do later. And then we saw because Atlantis Attacks was the following year.
Yes.
And if I remember right, that was bigger. Like that had...
Oh, yeah.
Like the Thor annual was in there, and so
the Iron Man, Thor,
basically all of these annuals plus a bunch of others, so
yeah. Oh, you know who else was missing? I mean, really wasn't as big a household name back then, but there was no Daredevil annual.
Oh, true, yeah. And we did see Daredevil in Atlantis Attacks in one of the Spider-Man annuals. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if you're right though, that if there are editorial things going on, like if there were like things going on in their individual titles
Maybe.
at that point in time that would have left them out of what was going on in a grander scheme.
And then Captain America, maybe Grunwald was busy because, as we'll get to, he wrote those. It's basically the origin of the High Evolutionary backups.
Oh yes, yes, which I misspoke about before. I had thought that those were drawn by Mark Bagley, but those were actually Paris Cullins that drew all those.
Yeah.
Mark Bagley did all the backups in the Atlantis Attacks ones. That's what I was getting mixed up here. He was doing the whole history of the Serpent Crown in those.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Mark Grunwald and Paris Cullins did the whole origin of the High Evolutionary over the course of these 11 issues for people who didn't know who he was.
And it may interest some people that, yes, the High Evolutionary's origin is kind of mixed in with a certain Drew family.
Yes.
The Spider Babies.
Yes, those people should be interested.
The Spider
And I love that connection too, by the way. I love that. I think it's so cool.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to a mystery there, which supposedly has never been solved. So,
it's never been talked about in any of the other stuff subsequently, really.
I don't think the shadowy figure we'll get to. I was doing some homework. Yeah, supposedly there's theories, but supposedly it's never been definitively answered.
No kidding.
And who knows if it ever will be if Mark Grunwald was writing it.
That's true. Yeah, I wonder if he left notes about who that guy was. I was wondering about that after rereading these. I was like, who did that guy ever turn out to be?
Yeah, I couldn't remember either. I'm like, who is this?
Oh, that's funny. Wow. Well, somebody might get around to it one of these days.
Yeah, we'll theorize about it when we get there. But
yeah.
All right, shall we jump in?
Yes.
All right. So yes, episode 1, kids. We're going to talk the X Factor Annual 3 and the Punisher Annual number 1. So strap in, kids. You're going to get some whiplash here. All right.
That's right.
X Factor Annual number 3. Saying August 1988. The Evolutionary War Part 1, Unnatural Selection. Writer Louise Simonson, penciler Terry Shoemaker, inker Al Milgram, colorist Petra Skodesh, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Bob Harris.
Great lineup of talent on this one.
Oh, yeah. The Purifiers, minions of the High Evolutionary, are scouring the tunnels deep below the Earth, seeking to sterilize the various races of Moloids, Tyrannoids, and lava men due to the fact that their masters deem them an evolutionary dead end. As the heads of this operation, Dr. Stack and Major Purge remark about how stupid the Moloids are. Unknown to them, one of the Moloids is a mutant with telepathic powers, and when one of the Purifiers harms him, he unleashes a telepathic scream. Telepathic scream. His cries for help bombard the psychic plane, also affecting Marvel Girl, who is aiding her comrades at X Factor and helping repair the damage done to New York City following an attack by Apocalypse. Recovering, Jean and the others prevent any further damage. The members of X Factor have their ship teleport them back to base to find out what's going on. X Factor is not the only ones who heard the cry for help, as at the secret base of Apocalypse, Caliban also detects the cry for help of the mutant Moloid and informs his master. Apocalypse is much interested in this turn of events as they counter his belief in survival of the fittest. While down below in Subterranea, the Moloids are being brought through the sterilization machine, and the mutant among them uses its powers to make his fellow Moloids attack the people who would seek to commit genocide against his people. Meanwhile, Jean has convinced her comrades in X Factor to go to investigate the cry for help she received, and they begin to travel down into Subterranea. Finding an access to the underground world, X Factor is shocked to find dead Moloids when they reach their destination. Before they can act on anything, they are suddenly swarmed by an army of Moloids under the control of the telepathic mutant that brought them down there. In deep space, the High Evolutionary watches as the sterilization mission is underway, when suddenly he's interrupted by Apocalypse, who teleports on board his space station. The two argue their belief systems. The High Evolutionary believing that his sterilization of the Moloids would be for the best of all beings on the planet, while Apocalypse believes that they should be left to their own devices, arguing that the weakest should be culled by nature, not the grand design of an individual. When the High Evolutionary refuses to see things the same way as Apocalypse, the Eternal Mutant attacks the Evolutionary. His blast ruptures the Evolutionary space station, causing both men to be pulled out into the vacuum of space. Apocalypse laughing the whole time. On the planet below, X Factor attempts to fight off the attacking Moloids when Marvel Girl spots the mutant Moloid due to its different skin color. Pulling it away from the horde with telekinesis, she passes the frightened creature over to the beast and they manage to calm it down. Realizing that they pose no threat, the mutant Moloid tells them its origins through primitive mental images, how it was born a mutant, and from its first day of awareness, it had the ability to control its fellow Moloids, a simple feat due to their near mindless nature, and helping them prosper until the purifiers came. As if on cue, the ones that would seek to create the eventual extinction of the Moloids attack, once more setting the Moloids into a panic and X Factor struggling to try and help. In space, Apocalypse uses his power to protect himself from the vacuum of space and continues to battle the High Evolutionary. The two clash both physically and ideologically over their beliefs on how evolution should work on their planet, what you want to do in the vacuum of space.
In space, no one can hear you debate.
Nice. The Evolutionary argues his justification based on the fact that he is like unto a god on an evolutionary level, and he wishes his fellow man to achieve this status. While Apocalypse, centuries old, argues that only time and war will determine who is the strong. Unable to convince the Evolutionary otherwise, Apocalypse decides instead to transport him to Subterranea to see the struggle for himself. As X Factor battles the Purifiers, trying hard not to get in the way of the raging Moloids, Dr. Stack and Major Purge figure out that the Moloids are being driven by one mutant in their of their own kind and manage to single him out. Major Purge grabs the mutate and is about to kill it. Watching this, Apocalypse boasts that even the High Evolutionary's purifiers are proving the validity of the point of his argument. As the battle rages on, the Beast notices what is going on and rushes to the aid of the mutant Moloid. However, Major Purge blasts him away. As X Factor struggles to try and get to the mutant, the creature finally learns how to focus its ability, learning the English word no, and making his fellow Moloids rather rally together and fight off the purifiers in a coordinated attack, freeing him and pulling the Moloid to safety. When X Factor aids them, the battle appears lost to the purifiers. Apocalypse laughs at the High Evolutionary's failed mission, pointing out that despite their differing opinions, they are still pushing evolution forward that Apocalypse sees fit, and the Eternal Mutant teleports away. The Evolutionary decides to ponder this and teleports away, taking his purifiers with him before they can provide any answers to X Factor. With the battle over, Beast is surprised to find that the mutant Moloid has learned rudimentary English. He tells Beast his name is Val Orr, and when Beast offers him a place living with X Factor to learn how to use his powers, Val Orr declines, telling his new friend that he wishes to stay and lead his people. That's a lot. What's going on here?
That's almost a full annual too. Like besides that backup that we
I
mentioned
know.
earlier,
Well, there was
it's
like
a whole thing.
yeah, there was another backup, wasn't there? But it was like kind of like a
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, there was
history.
about the kids.
Yeah,
There was a history thing, and there was some pinups, and then there was the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah. But
look, someone.
oh,
said,
nice, Russell. Yeah, Russell read this recently.
I love the X Factor annual grade issue. Yeah, a lot going on.
This was a great time in X Factor too, because it was kind of in the middle of a lot of big stuff. Like Angel was not in this.
Oh yeah,
The Beast was not blue anymore. He was Hank McCoy again, but he ran the risk of every time he used his powers and used his strength, he became less intelligent.
Yes,
to the point where it could be irreversible. So that was interesting. I really liked that, actually. That was cool. And then they had these great late 80s costumes. I mean, those were fantastic. I just love them. Yeah. And some great creative talent. Like I said, Louise Simonson, Terry Shoemaker with the pencils. He was the regular artist on X Factor at the time, so he did the annual for this. and the great
Yeah.
L. Milgram on the inks. Yeah, it was so good.
It wasn't Louise writing X Factor at the time, so
She
this was pretty
was.
much
This is
most of the regular creative team. So
yeah, I
I
think
like when that.
L. Milgram was the inker too. So yeah, it was the regular. Yeah, I liked that when they did that too. It was cool to see that when it was at least the regular writer of
Yeah,
the title. But if they could get the artist too, I mean, that was a bonus.
and I love continuity, so I love when they can tell you like where this takes place in history, because
Right.
they gave you like, oh yeah, this is after their battle with Apocalypse in issue whatever it was. Yeah,
Yeah. What I do wish there was, and this was hard because I wish there was some type of lead up to this, because all of a sudden it's like we're in Subterranea and the High Evolutionaries all of a sudden got this huge army of armored guys and these two superiors in charge of everything. But there was really no lead up to this. It's all of a sudden this is happening. You know, here we go. Buckle up, folks. It would have been cool to have like a lead-in issue somewhere, you know, like a prologue or something. I mean, they probably would do that now, but yeah.
And I guess he's so cold, but I'm just like, as we'll learn, the Moloids work into the Evolutionaries' history, and I'm just like, oh, he's all fine with them just pure like killing them or
sterilizing them or
It's
whatever.
just,
yeah, and removing any powers from anybody too. Like if they're born with any type of genetic gifts or abnormalities, they're removed. Yeah, and I liked that twist too with the mutant Moloid.
Oh yeah,
because it stands to reason that you would have a race that is that old. Because I always understood the Moloids to be a kind of an ancient race, I guess, like maybe going back to prehistoric times. And that just proliferated that much. There are always millions of them. So it would make sense that over the years there would eventually be some type of mutation happening in that species.
Oh yeah, and I used to think like the Moloids were always like a mole man thing, but I swear the last like decade or so, I swear Moloids make more appearances than the mole mans made.
We just saw them actually in the brand new Hulk annual that just came out. Have you read that?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's so good. Yeah, Russell and I just covered that on Gamma Charge actually.
Yes, I was able to watch the first few minutes of that. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah, I love it. And haven't the Moloids turned up in there's something else that they appeared in recently. I can't remember what it is.
But yeah, I used to think they were always Mole Man, but I think they're there where like Tyrannus shows up or pretty much anything against you know, you go far enough in the earth, it's like there's
right.
the Moloids.
There they are, yeah. Same deal with the lava men. If you go far enough underground, you see the lava men as we see here. I like how they had all three of the kind of the underground races at the time, quote unquote. The lava men, the Moloids, and the quote unquote Tyrannoids. We're all in the same story. I love that.
I love it's like every third page. Apocalypse laughs.
Yeah.
You are stupid.
Although whenever now that I've watched the X-Men animated series enough times, now whenever I see Apocalypse in a comic book, I think of his voice being the same voice as from the animated show, being all very deep and imperious sounding.
No, I think of him for that animated series. All I think is him from that clip with Rogue. That's all I think about.
Oh yeah. That shall live in infamy forever.
Oh my! See why we wanted better animation, kids.
That's right.
Hold on, I want to see something here. Yep. All I did was Google Apocalypse and Rogue. First picture that pops up. What are you thinking?
Of course, I love it.
Of course.
The internet.
The internet never changed.
Yeah.
There we go. Hold on. I gotta hold on.
You gotta see this. Yeah.
Here's the evolution we're talking about. All right. Presents screen art. There we go, kid.
There you go. Yeah.
And I love when people meme it, and they're like, "Look at that! Look what they were showing children. How dare they do that to Apocalypse's armor or something?" It was just...
Oh, it's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, the 90s.
The
It's a
90s.
crazy time, kids.
Some animator was trying to be Jim Lee.
Absolutely. They're reading a lot of Jim Lee comic books.
No wonder Lilith Hellfire loved that show so much. All right. But yeah, like you were saying, I love this era of X Factor. Yeah, the Beast having to watch his powers, and I think this is like early. Is this early Archangel? Like,
Yeah,
like
I
something
think
goes maybe, or he just got out from under Apocalypse's control or something. Maybe
I think so. Yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out because I was collecting X Factor off and on when this annual came out.
Yeah,
but I don't remember exactly where he was.
and
I know he was off doing his own thing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And was this the era where like Iceman had to wear that, like, it's basically a power dampening belt because it, like, his powers got boosted so much, like he couldn't control it. He was just like
I think it was right around there. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. They did a lot of cool things with the original X-Men at that time. Love that.
Oh yeah, and those pinups. I mean, speaking of that road clip, I mean, we got kind of like a side, almost like a side view of Jean Grey. You know.
Yes. Yeah. I love those pinups too. There was a great John Byrne one there. There was a great.
Oh yeah, of them as the original X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then they put up some of the unused covers and stuff from 8 and 16. Yeah.
Yeah, when they went up against Freedom Force. Yeah. With the second Spider-Woman in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always thought they should bring back Freedom Force, like a new version of Freedom Force, but I guess that's kind of what the Thunderbolts are now, so we don't really need to.
Yes. I don't care if we do it here or if we do it on Gamma Charge. We have to cover Hulk 369 where Joe Fixit battles like Blob and Pyro while they're in the
Yes. It's Freedom Force, yeah, because the other guys are in there too. The Crimson Commando and all those folks. Yes. Love that one. Yeah. And maybe because it's a 69 issue, maybe Lilith will join us.
Yes.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
Oh, so do like a 69 special, do that, and like West Coast Avengers 69 or something.
Oh yeah,
Hawkeye U.S. Agent, duke it out.
Another classic.
All right, and then like we said, we got one backup. Yeah, where basically the ship's basically shows the kids like the history of like the X Factor and everything, and
these are the X-Terminator kids, the original X-Terminator crew. Yeah,
they say that one continues in X-Terminators #1. See, I like that when annuals like they actually like fit them in like in the regular issues, and because sometimes we'll do an annual and it's like you can basically just like throw it away, like it doesn't affect nothing. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just everything self-contained. Even the backups don't have anything to do with anything else.
Yeah. All right, so should we get to the part 1 of the High Evolutionaries history here?
Yeah, the origin. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, part 1 of the saga of the High Evolutionary. Part 1, the gift.
The gift. They're just torturing another mouse. I was like, stop it with the animals. God.
I know.
Have you watched the movie yet, Phil?
What?
Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Yeah.
I know. I can't handle all that animal stuff.
I know. I know. I saw people like saying even beforehand, they're like, yeah, I mean, there's that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's rough to watch that. But yeah, when I saw him with that mouse, I was like, oh no, here we go again.
I know.
No, leave those animals alone.
And
Find some child molesters to experiment on.
Exactly. I was looking for the credits for this story, but I don't see it here. But yeah, I do remember Grunwald wrote it.
Oh, I've got it here. It's Mark Grunwald, writer, Paris Cullens, penciler, Tony DeZuniga, inks, Ken Lopez, letters, Gregory Wright, colors, Ralph Macchio, editor, and Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief.
Cool. Oh, hold on, I'm just looking at something here. All right. So yeah, we'll get. So like I said, we'll get into this mystery here. But oh yes, we did get some name drops in this story. Like I said, Jonathan Drew, Arnim Zola in this first
Arnim
part.
Zola, yes.
Uh,
Well, who's who of the Marvel history at the time?
That's right. Because in 1928, Herbert Edgar Wyndham is a young geneticist researcher in London who bombards rats with radiation in an effort to stimulate mutations. So far, all of his test subjects have died. He receives an invitation to a major genetics conference in Geneva, which he is only able to afford with family donations. There, he befriends a Yale zoologist named Jonathan Drew and also encounters the renowned geneticist Ladslawshinsky, who advises young researchers to hold off on mutation experiments until the DNA code has been fully mapped. Wyndham chafes at his tact rebuttal of his own work, especially as he knows that mapping process will take several more decades. Getting drunk that evening, Wyndham tries to collect himself in a dark alleyway when he is approached by a mysterious supernatural figure who hands him a sheath of papers containing a blueprint for breaking the genetic code. So yeah, so like I said, they never, I don't think they ever really explain who this guy is who gives them the notes. But like the top two leading contenders, everyone's always say are either Mr. Sinister or this guy Fader, Paeder, who I guess is part of the Inhumans genetic council or something.
Oh.
So
Yeah, see, my first guess would have been Sinister because all this like genetic manipulation stuff is right up his alley.
And I don't know how he would have done it, but like for some reason, I mean, maybe just the way my mind works, I was like, could this be the High Evolutionary coming back in time and giving him his own notes? And it's basically just a loop. It's just like,
right, yeah.
You become the High Evolutionary because I, as the High Evolutionary, come back and give you the notes.
It's all due to my genius. Yeah, no, I could see that being the case. Yeah,
he creates himself. Yeah.
I wonder if Mark Grunwald did leave some notes about this character somewhere. If that exists somewhere, there's got to be something.
That is the one interview I wish I could have gotten.
Me too. If only we could go back in time.
Because just from what I've heard of him talking to different creators and stuff, especially Chichester, it's like he sounds like he was a great guy. He was a smart guy. He had his sense of humor. I think he would have loved us. It just
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think we would have spent a lot of time laughing with him. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you come on and talk every issue of your 10-year Captain America run? Oh, yes. And Quasar,
and Quasar, and all the annuals too. All of it.
I think you did some Marvel Toon one. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. We'll even talk about Quest Probe.
Oh yes.
Do you remember that? He did the art for the Hulk issue of the Quest Probe.
Oh, I've never read him. I have to read him.
Oh man,
we should cover that one day because I know. Yeah, he did mention those like in the Quasar run. So like we were talking about it, but yeah, I've never actually read those.
Oh man, they're a trip. Yeah, we're gonna cover. Me and Russell have talked about it. We're gonna cover the Hulk one on Gamma Charge, but there's 3 issues in total, and the other 2, there's a Spider-Man one,
yes,
and there's also a one with the Human Torch and the Thing, but they're 2 separate stories. So it's cool. Yeah.
When you're doing them, let me know. Maybe we could do a crossover. I'll be like,
yeah, totally.
Maybe Will and I could do Spider-Man one, and then maybe you and I could do Torch and Thing one. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I like that idea.
Go listen to this biscuit and that Mountain Dew over there. Oh my god! I don't know if she was serious. Lilith was saying the next Transformers episode we do, her and Russell should do some Mountain Dew taste test or something.
Oh yeah, I love that idea.
Too
Definitely.
late. Noise gone.
Oh.
Ring. Oh. Talking evolution here. All right. All right. Should we get to the Punisher annual? Which
Yeah.
different. I mean,
talk about a different theme entirely here. Yeah.
he basically just stumbles into the end. All right. All right. So, all right, kids. Part 2 of the Evolutionary War from the Punisher, annual number 1. From August 1988. Evolutionary Jihad. Oh my.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh, yeah. Writer Mike Barron. Penciler Mark Texiera. Inker Scott Williams. Colorist Janet Jackson.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Nice. And letterer Jim Novak, and I'm not seeing an editor. All right.
Oh, Carl Potts.
Okay. All right. Oh wait, is it saying there's another backup besides the High Evolutionary Origin? Because I read this on the app, but I don't know if that second story was in there.
Let's see. I'm going to take a look. Actually, I don't remember.
I mean, it's saying 3
parts. No. On the app, it goes straight from the main story to the backup. But
it looks like a microchip story from this synopsis. But yeah, that wasn't in the issue for the.
Oh,
on the app.
I've got all the floppies of these. I didn't dig them out. I should do that and see if.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird because the X Factor, I think it had all the stories, but the Punisher didn't have that microchip story on the app. Huh.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if it was a different writer. Yeah. Some issues with that.
All right. So yeah. So the Punisher was searching for a drug lord named El Cayman in Bogota when a man in an Eliminator armor appeared and massacred nearby civilians and one of El Cayman's men. Frank fought and took down the Eliminator while saving El Cayman's daughter, Lucinda. The two went to El Cayman's villa in Little Caesar in Bogota, where El Cayman's men confiscated Frank's weapons. The Punisher met El Cayman and told him that he came to him to convince him to stop selling drugs. Yeah, he was going to convince him with a slug to the head, through the brain.
Exactly. It's going to be a very one-sided conversation.
El Cayman refused and made a truce with the Punisher to take down the Eliminators. The Eliminators attacked and destroyed the villa, but Frank, El Cayman, and Lucinda were able to escape to an underground complex where the drug lord kept a crocodile to kill his captive enemies. The Punisher and El Cayman finish off the last Eliminators, who they learned were sent by the High Evolutionary. Afterwards, the Punisher used his last bullet to shoot the crocodile tank, setting the predator free and allowing it to devour the drug lord. Then Frank and Lucinda left the jungle together. He kills him like right in front of her too. See your dad
in the most horrible manner. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like this Teflon coated bullet to like shoot through that aquarium. I love it. He's like, he should have been like, "Hey, want to see a magic trick? See your dad? Don't see him now."
1, 2, 3, orphan.
Oh. For someone who lost his family, the violence, man, he's like, yeah, your dad is a piece of crap. Yeah,
get ready to be an orphan kid.
At least have her leave the room, something.
Yeah, go up the staircase for a bit. Why? What are you gonna do? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about your head.
The daughter must have known though what was going to happen. I mean, she knew what her dad was doing for business. Like she had to have known that someday it would have ended up like that. If it wasn't somebody like the Punisher, it would have been some rival drug lord or some revolutionary type of figure.
Well, Well, he played it. He always played. I guess the guy kept playing it like, oh yeah, I take care of the town, and
Yeah, I dug a well for this town, and all these people look up to me, and
I
blah
built the
blah.
skull. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he was ready to retreat when those eliminators showed up.
Yeah, if you notice, he didn't really go into the village and lift a finger to save them as they were being mowed down by the eliminators.
Yeah, because that was the thing. That was their whole point. Because I guess for the evolutionary, they were killing all drug lords. So
yeah, one of the eliminators is incapacitated by the Punisher. He reveals that the High Evolutionary's plan is to wipe out all the drugs so that they won't have a chance to interfere with the genetics of human destiny.
yeah, and again, it's like if the eliminators hadn't tried to kill El Cayman's daughter or like the town, I think Frank would have been like, yeah, go ahead, kill him.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're gonna kill drug dealers? Oh my!
Oh yeah, okay. I'll leave it. I'll leave then. You can do my work for me.
Oops! I'm a step behind you again. You killed another drug lord. Oh.
I guess it's a vacation in Bogota this time.
Don't you dare go attack that nice Wilson Fisk in New York, New York.
Right. I've got his address if you want to go knock on his door.
Here's his address, but don't go there and kill him. No.
Yeah, no. How about Jigsaw? Are you interested in him? He's a drug kingpin.
Oh my God, that would be a what if Frank Castle had his own like high tech army.
Yeah, imagine if he got his hands on this Eliminator armor, like the suit, and he could be like the Iron Punisher, flying around and impaling people with those spiked gauntlets and things.
Well, they did that a few years back. Like he got like a version of the War Machine armor, but
he did.
He didn't keep it that long. Yeah.
Did he? He must have painted a skull on the outside of that thing.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. And Nick Fury was trying to track him down.
Just look for the big suit of armor that's black and white and has a skull on the front of it. You'll know which one it is.
It was only an arc or two, but I was like, man, because like I said, they always like try to like give the Punisher a gimmick, whether it's like he's an angel or Frankencastle or something.
Zombie. He's a zombie this week. He's got a suit of armor next week. Week after that, he's going to be a ninja.
Exactly.
He hasn't been a demon yet. I think what they should do is send Frank to hell and have like a bunch of time when he's in hell and Mephisto's messing with him and sending a bunch of people that he's killed after him to like pursue him through hell and stuff. I think that would be fun.
They might as well do it now. I mean, with the whole hand stuff. I mean, I don't know. Do you ever think that they would like, I don't know, just like have the Punisher be not as violent anymore? Just
tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you could have him go after straight up supervillains, but it's like you really can't have him be killing supervillains because we need supervillains.
Right. Yeah. Keep him away from Stilt Man,
Oh yeah. See, he wanted to be they want him to be Scourge in his worst way, but he can't be Scourge.
Yeah. There's already a Scourge,
There he is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh my God. Yikes. Ugh. That hurts my soul a little bit. I do love the Punisher written by Mike Baron, though. I feel like he has a great grasp of the tone of the character, and he writes really good dialogue for some of these like narrative scenes where it's all Frank's POV that's in the captions.
Yeah,
like he's narrating the story.
And again, this was a warm up for. I mean, but eventually the Punisher had what three monthly books.
Yeah. The Punisher, and then there was War Zone and War Journal.
Yeah.
Which I didn't read any of those other ones. I don't remember what those were about.
I got some random ones. I mean, they're all Punisher stories, but it's just I think at least once or twice they did crossovers where they crossed over between all of them. But
I thought one of them was like a prequel, kind of like
Probably, but I think there
Le-
was at least one event where they actually just like crossed them all.
oh, kind of like Legends of the Dark Knight was to Batman.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like older stories of the character.
Because I wasn't collecting regularly. I would collect a random issue here and there, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Every few years, I'll try the Punisher, but it's always like the same thing.
Yeah, I was never a big fan, to be honest with you. I just
Because
a guy with a gun just doesn't do it for me. Like there has to be more to it.
and I mean, it's like he's either killing a bunch of nobodies because it's like, you can't be too good at his job with like known characters. Like you can't kill the Kingpin every month.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You couldn't even kill Jigsaw every month.
No.
Like that's one of his prime adversaries, and they've been doing this tap dance for 40 years. But if you kill them all, like you run into the issue with Moon Knight. I mean, you don't have any adversaries at all. You don't have a rogues gallery.
Yeah.
They're all dead. So what do you?
No, what's their favorite?
Punisher
Who's favorite Punisher writer and artist? I know yours, Noel. I bet your favorite writer is Chuck Dixon, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
No, I think Mike Barron. Yeah, I feel like he also did the Punisher annual for Atlantis Attacks with Moon Knight, and I loved that. I loved that annual. I think that he has a really good grasp of the character, and he writes them well. Art wise, that's tough. I really love Mark Texiera in this annual. I mean, I feel like he draws a great Punisher.
I know Noel's a joke. I hate alt writers. It's a joke. It's like when we. It's like I know Batman isn't Ray's favorite character. I know Noel.
Yeah,
Batman, my favorite character.
we still have to remind him. Yeah, what about you? What do you feel? Who's your favorite Punisher?
I don't know. I might just have to steal your Mike Barron because it's like I say, I'm never with the Punisher long enough that I think that because I always get bored with the Punisher.
Yeah, I haven't read any long runs of the character of anything of the Punisher titles.
I think the longest I ever stayed on the Punisher was like in the mid '90s when like he joined like that mafia family. I mean that series was only like 18 issues or something. So
who was writing it then? Do you remember?
Oh, I forget. Let me look this up. But yes, because I mean he basically gets saved by this the head of this head of this mafia family who's like dying, and the guy's basically like, "Oh, you can use our, as long as you protect my family, you can use us to like hunt down other, just like
interesting."
Oh, is it Ostrander?
Oh, was it Ostrander?
I couldn't remember. But it might be. Yeah.
I might have to check that out because I love all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Here, I'm trying to look at this now, but I can't remember if he was there the whole time or not. But yeah, at least the first issue was Ostrander.
No kidding.
So that might have been Ostrander's idea. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because the first issue of that, it's like 95. Yeah, it's like 1995. It's Ostrander writing and Tom Lau art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I had no idea that Ostrander wrote any Punisher.
And again, it's 1995, so he has a ponytail.
Of course. Oh, of course. It had to be.
Everyone had a ponytail or a mullet.
Yeah, sometimes both.
Exactly.
At the same time. Yeah, I still don't get that with the ponytails. I don't remember like ever seeing any ponytails of that nature in 1994 or 5. Like
they were trying to look hip, kids, hip.
Yeah.
Noel says the only Punisher I ever owned was that 80s limited series because the covers were great. Mike Z. Yeah, Mike Z.
Mike Z.
I love that. Captain America is like second to none.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, Noel, thank you for jogging my memory. I think he's my favorite Punisher artist.
Oh, Zach, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in like my top 3, top 5 Captain America artists. Yeah.
Yes. He's so good. Love his stuff.
He's up there with like Ron Lim and yeah.
Yeah. Amazing stuff.
So let's we still got the second part of the High Evolutionary's origin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Saga of the High Evolutionary Part 2, Pet Project. In 1930, at Oxford University, Herbert Wyndham was researching DNA when Professor Reardon entered the laboratory. Reardon confronted Wyndham about his failing grades. The latter responded by offering to show the former and the other professors his work in exchange for being able to continue. 2 days later, Wyndham showed his professors his prototype genetic accelerator designed to accelerate evolution. Reardon and his fellow professor believed that it was a hoax, and Wyndham was expelled. It's another dropout like Victor Von Doom.
Get out of here, you dropout.
At least you left with your face. Unlike Doom. Months later, Wyndham had convinced his mother to live with her sister so he could use her home for his experiments. Get out, Ma.
Classy. Super classy.
I know. And then doesn't he sell the house? I'm like, wait a minute. Is she still alive? She's like selling her house.
Where is she going to live, in the barn?
He experimented on a dog named Dempsey, causing it to evolve to be able to walk on 2 legs. Dempsey was shot by hunters, much to Wyndham's disappointment.
Justice for Dempsey.
Exactly. 1 month later in Paris, Wyndham met with Jonathan and Miriam Drew, who were with their young daughter, Jessica.
Oh.
And agreed to establish their own research facility at Wundagore Mountain. So, I heard Ray's ears perk up. Yes, Jessica Drew.
The
Jessica
spider
Drew.
babies.
As a child, yeah, this begins her origin as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it.
I was gonna say, what was wasn't Jonathan Drew working for Hydra? Or was that the Bendis?
Oh, did they have him doing that? I don't know.
I think somebody at some retcon, it might have been Bendis. Somebody had him work. Ray, where are you at? Yeah, one of the retcons was like Jonathan Drew was working for Hydra, or both the parents were working for Hydra or something.
Boo!
Probably after the MCU started. So
yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, now I think he's just a scientist here.
Yeah, I like that better. I like the fact that they were both scientists. They were working with Herbert Wyndham. I think that's much better than having them be Hydra agents. That's so basic.
And I would assume, because it's Grunwald and he knows his stuff, that eventually in one of these backups we'll get to the point where they'll show us. Because I know at one point the Jackal learns from the High Evolutionary.
Oh yeah, you got to learn from the best if you want to clone people. Yeah,
that's right. You want to make superior clones like Ben Reilly. That's right.
Superior puss. Superior puss.
Superior puss.
Oh my god, we were playing that this morning, and I said to Lilith, I said, how would Justin know?
Superior puss. I've talked to some people.
I've heard things.
I've heard things. I've read some things on the internet.
I've read some reviews on the internet. I watched some informational videos online. Yes.
The more you know.
Lilith pointed you to some sites, eh?
Yes, a handful. Yeah.
Yeah, so the tangled web we weave, kids.
Yes.
Jonathan Drew and
poor Dempsey. I was reminded, I was like, justice for Dempsey. He didn't do anything wrong. God, he was just being a dog, and then all of a sudden he gets turned into a man dog, and then gets shot. I was like, oh, Dempsey.
I know, and the High Evolutionary don't care except, there goes my experiment.
Yeah. Still, he's an ass when it comes to animals.
Exactly. Oh, I can't remember, but I wonder if we'll get to the point where Miles Warren, the Jackal, creates a Jackal Man.
Oh.
Although I remember them saying that in the 90s Clone Sagas. I don't know if that was always there or if they just created that flashback during the Clone Saga.
Yeah. Yeah, there had to have been a few jackal men running around Wundagore Mountain at one point or another.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of the Ana-men were like worshiping, like some of them broke off from the High Evolutionary and started worshiping Miles Warren. It's like, oh boy.
Yeesh. Ew.
Oh
They'll
well, that's the whole,
idolize anybody.
that's the whole thing. We're gonna get here. I think is it this Spectacular Spider-Man annual where like the High Evolutionary says, "Oh no, the jackal
Oh.
can't create clones." You
Yeah.
know, he just basically came up with some virus, like genetic virus that like rewrites someone into someone else. It's like,
Mhm.
you know, there were no Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy clones. He just took other people and rewrote them, and then
Rewrote them, yeah. Yeah, that's the Spectacular Spider-Man annual.
yeah,
you
we're
see.
gonna get there. Yeah,
The return of Gwen Stacy?
and then by the Clone Saga, when they want to have a clone Peter Parker, they're like, just like, no, the High Evolutionary, he lied, he lied.
He was just kidding. He was
How
just
can you
faking you out.
How can you trust a man in a purple helmet? No,
Yeah, that's
he lied.
right. Yeah.
Trust the man in the jackal suit. No.
In the green jackal suit. You can trust him. He's got a nice bridge to sell you too while he's at it.
Right. Who, the Jackal, was also in the Punisher's first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 129.
True. That is true. Some great Ross Andrew art, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. God, that's good.
All right. So, anything else on these issues?
Again, it's kind of like the Punisher annual kind of just starts, and then like the Eliminators are there, and they give a little bit of exposition about what they're doing there and how it relates to the wider scheme of things.
Yeah.
But there's no like blurb in the beginning that explains what's going on in the High Evolutionary War. There's no kind of prologue or anything. Like I can see like, because I was confused reading this in 1988. I was 11 years old, and I was confused going from X Factor to Punisher. I was like, what? All right. Well,
I mean,
I enjoyed it, but I was as far as like an overall narrative, I was confused. I was the only thing that held it together for me was the backup in the back with the origin.
I mean, is that kind of good? Because like, if you didn't want to buy every annual, you didn't have to. But it's like, yeah, it would be kind of confusing. But again, too, the X Factor annual really had nothing to do with this issue, except, yeah, like you said, the High Evolutionary's origin. Because, like,
right.
I mean, the High Evolutionary was in it in that X Factor annual. Here, it's like it's basically it's like, oh yeah, guys in armor are coming.
Right. Yeah, he's in a lot of the X Factor annual, and he's in none of the Punisher one. Like, you don't see the High Evolutionary at all in the Punisher story. You only see the Eliminators. You see him in the origin story in the backup, but he's not in the main story at all.
So
he's just referenced.
So I guess all the writers, that they basically told them what you could get as into the event or as not as you wanted. You know, just it's like, okay, you know, the guys in armor showed up. Yeah, you can slap Evolutionary War on the cover.
Right. It makes sense too. I mean, why would the High Evolutionary be overseeing his Eliminators burning a village in Bogota? Like, it doesn't make sense that he would be there to oversee
especially when there's no superpowered people around. It's just
right.
A bunch of
he would have zero interest in watching that. Yeah. So it makes sense he wouldn't be in this at all. But it would have been cool to have like maybe a page, like a subplot page, let's say, of him on his ship being like, okay, well, that thing with Apocalypse just happened. Here's what I want to do next. And then that might reference, what is it? The Silver Surfer annual that's next.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that there's kind of like a little bit of narrative that flows through here. It would,
kind of.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that next episode, kids.
That's right. Yeah. But that's my only gripe. In hindsight, reading this now as a 45-year-old, that's like my only gripe, is that it's kind of confusing to read from the standpoint of all of this being one interconnected story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like either each issue, the only theme is it doesn't seem like the overall plot is basically just the High Evolutionaries either trying to sterilize or kill individual groups. So so
Mhm.
the Moloids and drug dealers this time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But you have to, it's not easily spelled out for you. You have to dig for some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's like Evolutionary War is like, yeah, the High Evolutionary is just up those usual crap.
Yeah. He's tinkering. That's what he does. He's tinkering.
I mean, I'm trying to. A lot of people don't even get a face to face with the High Evolutionary probably until that Avengers annual at the end.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And what Apocalypse did in the first part, but
Yeah. The X-Men see him face to face briefly. Yeah. An X-Men one.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I can't like half of these I can't even remember. So yeah,
I'm trying to remember too. It's been probably over 10 years since I read these last.
I was gonna say that the Spider-Man ones might be the ones I remember the most, just because I probably read those the most.
The X-Men one was the one I remember the most because I love that with the Arthur Adams artwork.
Oh yeah,
it's so gorgeous. I remember just reading that over and over again just for the art. But yeah, I love the Spider-Man ones too, especially the Amazing Spider-Man one, the introduction of Speedball.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. As we'll see later on.
Yes, kids. Oh yeah, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And if you love X-Men stuff, kids, check out Capes and Lunatics episode 300 when I talked to Ando Senti about her new Storm miniseries.
Yeah, nice. I'm excited about that.
Talk some Daredevil. I even asked her about a Spider-Man story or two she wrote. So yeah,
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I talked to her a few years ago. Yeah, I mean she's really nice.
Yeah, I love Ando Senti. She's great.
All right. All right, kids. So yes, so next episode, Justin and I will be talking Silver Surfer Annual 1 and New Mutants Annual 4 for Part 2. And then Part 3 we'll talk The Amazing Spider-Man Annual 22, Fantastic Four Annual 21. And then Part 4 is the X-Men Annual 12 and Web of Spider-Man Annual 4. And then Part 5 is going to be the big one with West Coast Avengers Annual 3, Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 8, Avengers Annual 17, and then, yes, like Justin said, we'll get to that What If issue. What If Volume 2, Number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a long episode.
Oh, yeah. And we can't wait for the Surfer. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll be back in a few minutes to cover that.
That's right. Yeah, you won't have to wait very long.
Yeah, that one.
Nice. They collected that in an epic, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other news. Which we'll probably cover some next year. But yes, Marvel has reacquired the rights to ROM, Space Knight, and Micronauts. So we might cover that next year. Yes, when it comes.
We're gonna finally see a Romnibus. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so happy, and the Micronauts too. I'm so happy for both of those. I've got the whole run of ROM, the original one. I've got all 75, all the annuals. Like that's one of my holy grail comics. But to have that all in one gorgeous volume, or actually it'll probably be 3 or 4 volumes, but to have it all collected like that is going to be amazing. I can't.
That's what I said. That's one of my blind spots. I never read ROM, so I've wanted to for the longest time. So that's going to be interesting.
Nice. Yeah, we will definitely cover that. And yes, Noel, we're adding that to the drinking game.
Well, and then the other thing I saw is people were saying those are both Hasbro properties. So they say, is Marvel going to get Transformers and G.I. Joe back?
I was wondering about that too. There's been a lot of talk about that, so we'll have to see.
Because that would be a couple more big properties for Disney to acquire.
That'd be huge. Think of all the crossovers they could do with that. Oh my word! Wow.
You could really get a Spider-Man versus Megatron in that one. Now.
Star Wars and Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Oh, yes.
Predator and Aliens. And...
No, Predator versus G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Oh.
That has to happen. Yeah.
Snake Eyes versus Predator.
Yeah.
Oh.
Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow versus Predator.
Yes, I want that.
Yeah. Let's do that. Or even Predator versus Transformers. Hell, they could go after some giant robots, right?
Even Disney couldn't make a good Transformers or G.I. Joe movie. I don't care. I just want the comics.
Yes.
Oh my God, Star Wars. They built a new Death Star and it's like Megatron or something.
It's a new Unicron.
Oh, yes.
The possibilities are endless.
Oh, Disney. Yes, do it. All right.
Especially once everything starts going up for public domain, then it's going to be a
Oh,
free for all. Oh my God, it's going to be a chaotic mess.
I don't know. I feel like someone's always going to pick up the Transformers and G.I. Joe every few years. Like IDW had them
Yes.
last. It's just, for rights.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to buy this.
Yep. Every decade or so, they go up for auction. Who wants them this time? Yeah.
All right, kids. So yes, join us next time for part 2, the Silver Surfer Annual 1 and New Mutants Annual 4. So email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Send us all your Evolutionary War thoughts. And remember, you can watch all of our episodes, find all the social media, find merchandise, the Patreon. Please subscribe to the Patreon now. Lil Hellfire is going crazy on Patreon reviewing Heroes Reborn. So
yes, join me in the Patreon Elite. You get all the perks, all the good stuff, all the bonus episodes.
Yes.
I love the first episode of Heroes Reborn. I won't spoil anything for people who haven't listened to it yet.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
No, that was
No, neither did I.
Yeah, that was a nice little curveball.
But wait till we get to the Captain American Avengers.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a different story entirely.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right. So, Justin, you join me here every week on Marvel Tales. You join me once a month at the end of every month on We Are the Night, the
Batman podcast.
Talk all things Asriel and Asbats. But we also do other podcasts like this beautifully edited Gamma Charge. So tell us about those shows.
Yes, the gorgeously edited Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is. It's hosted by myself and my good pal Russell, and edited by our good pal Noel,
Proud member of the collective.
And you can find us there twice a month. Also, we have a Patreon as well, so we have bonus episodes. And actually, we just did a bonus episode, Russell and I, about DC's version of the Hulk, or one of them, that they did back in 1993 as part of the Bloodlines annual crossover event, which was called Loose Cannon.
Oh,
that was a lot of fun. So join the Patreon. You get access to that bonus episode and all of the others that we've done. I think we've done about 7 so far. So you get access to all of those and all of the other perks and good stuff. And besides that, we are joined by our good pal, the High Priest of Khonshu himself, Ray, on Predator and Prey, a Yautja podcast, where we talk about everything to do with the Predator, Fox's Predator, in comic books, film, action figures, and more. And the Lost Library of Legends, my quote-unquote solo podcast, is coming soon. I actually have some extra time this weekend where it's a quote-unquote holiday weekend. I have some extra time to work on that, so I'm excited. I'm eager to get it out the gate after a year and a half of talking about it. Scream at! Exactly. I'm going to scream it from the mountaintops when it's done.
Oh, and hey, go watch the last 4 episodes of Flash. They're all out now. Flash is over, so you can watch your buddy
my
Rick Cosmic.
biscuit.
Yeah,
Yes.
favorite biscuit.
Yes. Oh man, I've been waiting for that day.
My favorite biscuit.
I might have to get some candles and some wine out.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh my.
Well, that is.
Oh my. Noel's gone because I guess during our Transformers and G.I. Joe talk, he put
Oh yeah,
Anarchy in the Public Domain. That sounds like a punk song, Noel.
It does.
I would listen to that. Go record that, Noel.
Yeah. That should be an album.
Oh yeah, Anarchy in the public domain. Just think about all kinds of stuff in the public domain.
Yeah.
All right.
Free-for-all.
Thank you, kids. The war has just started. Come back
Yes.
next week for more Evolutionary War. All month for the Evolutionary War.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Mm-hmm. Maybe next time we should tell them about all our summer plans, July and August. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. We've got a
Give me
lot
some
of good
big
stuff
stuff.
coming up.
July, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Come back next time. Remember, save the dog. Good night.
That's right. Justice for Dempsey.